So starting this out, I mean, I know we have some newer agents. We have some people who've been around a while, but really this is going to be a general overview, not a lot of in-depth, but we want to increase understanding of basics so people understand, how it can affect your clients when they're ready to make a purchase, right? How much money can you actually save them by just some minor incremental changes. Okay, so
and to be clear, for those that are in other states that are on Zoom, this is not a geographical location company. This is something you can do all across the country, right?
Yep.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, we're in 49 states. Georgia is the only state that we do not operate in. Everywhere else we're licensed and bonded.
Why is that? It's interesting. Just
Rules and regulations there.
really,
Yeah. Unless we actually are housed there, we can't work.
wow, interesting.
Yeah. Which is sad because a lot of businesses turn away. So if you've been around credit long enough, you see the quote there on the left where you're at the age where you care less what anybody thinks about you except right, God, TransUnion, Experian, and Equifax. Welcome to America. Okay, a couple quotes or facts over there. 10% of people are actually passed over for jobs at executive levels because of poor credit. And number 4 there is one thing that we'll talk about is contrary to popular belief, really how much money you make doesn't impact how good your credit is. Okay. So as you go down here, what makes up credit score? Basics. There is more to every one of these points. 35% payment history, 30% utilization, 15% seasoning. Now what's the average age of those accounts? We have 10% inquiries and then 10% credit mix. And are they showing good diversification of types of loans and credit? When you're talking to customers or just for personal practice, pitfalls to avoid. Don't close any of your accounts that are in decent standing, regardless of how old or what the limit may be. We see a lot of people who their balances are 0 on credit cards. They've been inactive for a year and they say, well, I'm not using it. Why don't I just close it? Well, what does that do? It's going to drop your score because it's hurting your overall utilization rates, your average age of accounts, and other things. Okay, so good thing to counsel your clients on. Also, don't make large purchase before buying a home. Hold out, please. Right, your underwriters are not going to like somebody's making a purchase right before utilization. It is 30% of your credit score. A good rule of thumb: keep it under 30%. Right, utilization. That's going to give you the best rating. Neglecting collections. That's a big thing that we deal with every day. We get them removed fairly easily in a short time frame. But if you let those linger too long, there is a chance that there is going to be some sort of legal action taken. The higher the amount, the greater that risk. You don't want to be receiving summons or judgments and somebody's calling to try to garnish wages or insert papers. It's never a fun thing for anybody. Okay. And then statute of limitations. Obviously, there's a time frame to everything that will fall off your credit report in due time. But why wait when you can be proactive about it? Okay, so this was these numbers were taken from my FICO and actually late this summer. So that question proposed is cash flow relative to my credit score, especially if you have a sizable down payment. So you can see that rate change. It may not seem much, but you've been around the business, you know what that can translate to. So your monthly payment versus your credit score. From 639 to a 760 plus. Not everybody's going to make that jump, right? Not everybody's going to be there. This is just so you can see. But that's $349 saved per month on a purchase price just under $400,000 with a 20% down payment on a 30-year fixed. Just basic math. Huge. So what does that mean? Yeah, really, what does that mean? The total cost of the mortgage based on your score. Let me just peruse those numbers for a second. That's a big jump. So I know a couple months ago, Ashley at Veritas Lending, where she's from, she was here, she did the same type of thing and said, if you have a customer who's at a 659 and you try to run them through, shame on you. And
Right.
we agree with that 1000%. Okay, understand the basics and how those numbers would translate of what's best for your customer moving forward. Okay, so that's going to bring in a question when it comes to the credit repair side. We'll go over that in a second. So let's maybe ask the question first here. When you hear credit repair, and trust me, I've heard all of them, so fire away. What comes to mind? What are the stigmas out there? Anybody dealt with them?
Slow.
Erroneous things on your credit report, maybe, that you need removed?
Yeah.
Is that a thing?
Yeah.
I know everybody says, oh, that's not mine.
Yep, that's something we hear from clients all the time, absolutely. Everybody tries to justify their poor decision making, right,
Yeah.
poor circumstances. We get,
Somebody stole
Like
my
happens.
ID or my identity.
yeah, identity theft is massive. We're seeing, over 3.5 million compromised files every year.
Mine's all screwed up.
Yeah.
Good identity theft.
But, yep, exactly. So that's thinking about from the credit repair business side, right? Anybody here dealt with credit repair business before, right? Thoughts, observations?
Slow process.
Yeah.
Sometimes not the results you're hoping for.
Like costly.
Expensive.
It's expensive.
Okay.
A lot of monthly, long-term commitment.
Basic. Doesn't work. Right? Part of that it takes too long. People are impatient. They want results now. That's one thing we do say is, hey, our timelines are short, but still don't expect miracles every time. There's exceptions to every rule. But we've got people 100-point jumps in under 30 days. That's not going to happen every time. Right? So get in the mindset that, hey, I'm going to have to wait a couple months while I implement some new behavioral patterns to make sure I'm not keeping myself in this hole I dug myself.
Maybe start planning ahead.
Yep. I can do it myself. That is 100% true. Okay? Every individual in America can figure out how to repair their credit on their own. But do you want to take the time? Do you want to allocate the resources? Do you want to risk sending in a package to the credit bureau? It gets verified, and then that account now is basically locked and unchallengeable. Right? We just know from time experience how to package those documents the best to get the results in the fastest time frames. Okay, so people can do it themselves. Number 4, not cost effective. It is expensive. It can be expensive, but that's a lack of value built from either the company themselves, from an agent selling the service for a customer. Right? What's more expensive? Investing. Let's say we deal with customers who have been at other credit repair agencies who have actually paid $3-4 grand for credit repair over time. But what it really is that cost relative to those numbers on the right.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Yes.
What do you save over time? Right? Understand, invest it. Right? How does finance actually work? And I was talking to Jeff about this before the meeting started. There's a Facebook group called Connect Utah. I don't know if anybody here follows that, but there was a question proposed by somebody that said, what are you doing to plan for your retirement? And the first thing I see on there is Jeff Marchant, and the first line is, I have 42 rental properties. I just pictured Jeff just flexing like he's in the mirror. He's just like, oh yeah, hammer truck.
I got this one,
Yeah, right? Somebody who understands finance, right? So you, as an agent helping a customer, you need to be right that angel on the shoulder. Say, hey, right now is probably not the best time. Wait a month. Let us do our work. Right? Go to Wype. They're going to take care of you, and then we're going to get you a better rate. This is what could save you, and will save you down the road. Okay. Any questions or comments?
I'm
so
sad I missed 10 minutes. Keep going.
That's right. Jeff recorded it just for you.
Yeah, okay, good.
Okay, so the one question that we hear every day is, okay, where do I start? Because we deal with a lot of people who just dug themselves into a hole that there is seemingly no way out of. And yeah, we deal with high 300s, low 400s at times, and it doesn't make sense, to be honest, for us and how we market ourselves. It doesn't make sense for taking on those kinds of clients, right? There's things underneath that need to be changed before we would even consider working with them. But
What is the lowest score
Yeah,
to
what's
even
the-
have a score?
you got 350,
350.
well, 300, 850, really, but you're not going to see anybody really at 350 or below.
I've seen 350.
It's pretty hard. Yeah, have you?
Yeah, when I was in auto as a finance manager.
Yeah.
Came in and called it and, well, we can't do anything. Why not? You're at 350. Oh, yeah.
That's like getting a 0.6 GPA in school. Like, you have to work hard to get that number. You just show up and you get a 1.0. Right? It's that
You
easy.
have to purposely not pay a lot of.
Exactly. Right, so I played basketball in college. digress here for a second. Two of my teammates, I'm not gonna name names, but they didn't show up to school, and literally one day, we're at practice, coach blows up, and we tells us all, get on the baseline, right, we're running ladders. I'm like, what the hell are we running for? He's like, oh yeah, these guys haven't shown up to class all semester, and they're at a 0.4 GPA.
Wow.
0.4. Like, what the hell are you doing with your life?
Yeah.
So chances are pretty good, their credit's not that good right now either.
And that's actually a good point, is I feel like history repeats itself, so I have a lot of foreclosures, and like if they can't change their behavior, even if you help them.
Yeah.
They don't, they just completely mess it up, because they don't understand financial,
Or it's temporary and then.
right,
revert
they don't
right
understand
back to-
financial health in any way, so, like, unless they change their behavior. You're gonna be foreclosed on, even if you somehow have a miracle.
Yeah.
Like it's happening.
So you're like, and when you get behind your payments, call me back.
Yep, and then that's it, right? It's like, I see that this has happened twice already, so, you know, chances are it's coming again, yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, we're gonna talk on this left side on the credit monitoring aspect here for a second. Anybody here like Credit Karma?
That's all right.
Why?
It's easy, I mean, it's a glance, I mean, it's not very accurate, I do know that,
Okay.
but I do like that it's a glance.
Okay, anything else? Any other thoughts on
You
Credit
can do
Karma?
your taxes for free with that.
That's true. Value add, right?
Mhm.
Anybody else?
I think it's just, I mean, for most people, it's easy, and while it does have a different, or I forget what it's called, but the tool that it uses is different from what you would use to purchase a home or a car or anything else. It still lets you know, okay, like this payment is showing as missed, or this is not closed out and paid off, but I
Yeah.
paid it off, or whatever. It just gives you a broad overview.
Yeah, sure.
If you are financially
Yes.
smart
Yeah.
and understand how things work.
So Credit Karma as a business, brilliant,
Yeah.
right? They sold last year for like $7.2 billion.
Nice.
Right, that's because their technology, their AI is that good. Going back to the difference between a Vantage scoring system and a FICO scoring system. Right? Credit Karma's Vantage 3.0. Does anybody know who created Vantage? They did. The credit bureaus created Vantage 3.0, that whole scoring system. The credit bureaus themselves, okay? So that begs the question, what's FICO? Fair Isaac Company? Who created them?
The federal
They're-
government,
They're their own entity.
okay.
Kyle will talk about, he's my business partner here. They're a technology company. Right, but everybody uses them, and everybody just loves having FICO. Right? So in mortgage, FICO 8, and solar, where we're heavy, FICO 9 is the big thing. But there are countless numbers of scoring models within that and how they weigh collections and medical debts and all sorts of things. Okay, so not all credit monitoring is the same. So understanding that, right, is yes, there is a difference between Vantage and FICO, and the correlation is not always in sync, but it can be fairly accurate, right, depending on what negative items we're seeing on a credit report. Okay, so understanding that from the credit monitoring side, myrise.com, that's a credit monitoring platform that we like quite a bit. There's a lot of great simulation tools in there. It gives you a score factor breakdown of, okay, this is what's on your credit report, this is what you could be doing different to help educate you a little more. And that's actually going through, I mean, we work hand in hand with those guys, and they're going through a full site overhaul now. So from the landing page standpoint, it will be updated very, very soon. But another preferred partner we have too, I think is just below this, is Smart Credit. They do a lot of the similar type things. It's $24.95 a month. Like the old saying is that your lenders don't look at free credit scores, right? So
Right.
get your customers to invest a little bit, right? Get some skin in the game to show that you're actually serious about wanting to improve your financial future.
Yeah, one thing to add to that, so Rise is gonna have a marketplace just like Credit Karma, which will match you up with like credit card offers and things like that. Different credit building loans, you know, if customers need to build some more positive trade lines, that's some other cool things that will be introduced on there, so.
So then obviously the second piece of this and what we represent is Wype credit restoration. Right now we have what we've seen is the simplest, most streamlined onboarding as far as getting customers enrolled. As we go through a lot of credit monitoring or credit repair companies, right, there's a couple of thoughts that are there. Maybe let's back up and go over this slide. So we're a bunch of guys, gals who have credit repair experience, technology experience, and we come heavily from the enterprise and door-to-door sales world. And how we started is we saw that there was a massive need, one, for customers to be able to get what they want, right? And then also secondly, for companies to capitalize on lost revenue. Okay, so when we started this a couple of years ago, we started, primarily in the mortgage side of the world. There's a lot of red tape, right? And how money can exchange hands and all that kind of stuff, right? So capitalizing on that market at the time wasn't really the best option for us. So we had to pivot. We had a lot of solar contacts. We have a lot of great partners, and we have now 8 of the top 10 solar companies in the country contracted with us, where we made it a free front end service where they just enroll people into our program. All they pay for is the credit monitoring, and then we get paid on the back once we return somebody, right? So we're performance based, which is one big thing that credit repair as a whole gets a bad rap for, is they want all your money up front. There's no guarantees as far as, okay, if you don't get stuff removed, what's going to happen to my money, right? Which we do have from a B2C standpoint. Yes, we do have options to get people in at something upfront, but we do offer them 100% money back guarantee, because to be fully compliant with the FTC, that's what you have to offer. Okay, but we are built to scale with volume, right? So we want to reach the masses. That's our goal, is we want to capitalize and monopolize on the solar world, and now getting pretty heavily into mortgage. We want 25,000 new enrollments a month. If we do that, we know we're helping a lot of people achieve goals that they wouldn't otherwise have. Okay. Also, we were actually honored to be to present at the Silicon Slopes Tech Summit. That was a couple weeks ago. We were on the 25 best startups in Utah over the last couple of years.
Nice.
So it's been fun. Thank you.
That's cool. It's a big deal.
Yeah. And with that too, Jeff and Lynn have been big supporters and believers too from day one. Just so you guys know me, I go back with the Martins quite a bit. Families grew up fairly close. Went to school. A couple years older than Ashley, but your daughter Sydney and my sister Nicole play volleyball together.
Yeah.
All that kind of stuff. So we know them fairly well. And really, the mortgage space for us has been successful in large part because of Jeff and Lynn. So getting around the right people in this world makes a big difference. So you guys are all in a good place. Yep. One thing let's talk about here is client turnaround. That third bullet point. Right now, within 4 months, we're returning roughly 35 to 40% of enrolled clients in our service back to close on whatever goal they're trying to accomplish. Like that's massive. So for every 100 deals we're getting, we're returning 30 to 40 to get solar on a roof. And what does that translate to the bottom line revenue? What does that translate to commissions? What does that translate into for dollars saved in energy bills for customers?
Can I ask you a question on that?
Yep.
Just because I have a few clients that, struggle with right now.
Yeah.
So if I put them with a company, so I didn't know about you, so now I do, I'm excited. But the problem is they're debt to, they don't have extra money to necessarily pay down debt, right? So they're kind of at a spot where it's like, well, I see what I could pay down, but I can't pay it down. So it doesn't do them any good, really. So in 4 months, I guess I'm just trying to ask, how are you getting them to actually change their score if they're kind of
That's a great question. So within most of our verticals and how we operate, we actually pre-qualify customers from our side before taking them on, because we tell our partners, hey, listen, we're gonna invest, we're gonna take on all responsibility, we're gonna pay for full-time employees, fulfillment, customer service, systems, everything, in hopes that this customer actually comes back and closes with you. And it's worked well.
Sure.
Debt to income ratio and overall utilization rates are tricky as a whole. One great tool out there that is actually pretty effective in the mortgage space is authorized user trade lines, which means if you got somebody who has access to somebody else's credit card, who has perfect payment history, good utilization, right? That can help bring down their overall debt to income and utilization. It's not gonna be as effective because they're gonna look kind of line by line, right? They're gonna see, okay, if I got 5 cards that are maxed out and I've got one that's like perfect, okay, what's going on here really? But it can be, if there needs to be just a little bit of a jump there, we can coach and help accommodate those situations.
Do you go as far as to coach people on, okay, this is how much you're wasting every month, like with those types of clients, like, okay, I see that you're spending this much on
Coffee.
eating out every month or on coffee or whatever else. And just helping them because like she said, it's a lifestyle change. And if this person's going to Starbucks every other day, then
For every day, and
they're
spending
gonna
$10
need
a day.
to, you know, probably get a Keurig or something.
Yeah.
Right?
Is anybody in this room guilty of doing that?
Yes.
I am.
No.
I have a
I
Keurig.
mean, I went to the coffee shop this morning, but it's the first time in a while.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
No, I never did, ever.
Yeah, but getting to your point, budgeting is a huge aspect, and at the moment, we can do a credit analysis with people if they really request that.
Mhm.
That's not our bread and butter at the moment.
Yeah.
But we do have an ongoing educational, like, whole platform that's actually in development right now, that will just be a continued value add, that will have resources, articles, trainings, all that kind of stuff. And hopefully we can do some Zoom trainings like this too, where we get people who are struggling in those aspects, and we can get them together and coach and mentor. So,
Refer them to an accountant.
yeah,
That will slap them.
yeah, exactly.
You're buying coffee.
Yeah,
Well, you're gonna give them some counseling, it's because you're pre-qualifying, and I like that aspect. You're not just taking anybody and taking their money and running them through. It's like, if you can't get them the results, you don't even start.
Yeah.
And so they're gonna know why.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
So we're gonna have a little bit of direction.
Yeah, because I know that some of those programs like Mint, MINT, are popular, but the user interface isn't easy. And then
No,
a lot of
it's not.
people aren't wanting somebody to log into their, to
yeah,
have the access to their accounts. So
Yeah.
just curious.
yeah. Everybody wants hands off these days, right? Nobody wants to talk to anybody. So we are taking steps to make that the case with all aspects of Wype. There's right now, I mean, there's probably 10% of our business that has to be hands-on,
Mhm.
at least at the moment.
Yeah.
Which is doing welcome calls with customers, making sure that they're, right, they know what's on their credit reports, what we're gonna work on for them. And then from there, everything's pretty automated. Right, so I mean, we have web chat features on the site, we've got all the social media links, you can text, call in anytime, right, you're gonna get somebody. But yeah, the end user is a big thing from Apple from the start, right, is you begin with the end user in mind. How do you make it as simple and easy to use as possible?
Wait, whoa, white label, tell me more about that.
Yeah, I mean, if you have relationships with a brokerage lender, any sort of outfit that wants to show that you are, right, more taking on all the responsibility yourself, that you're going to add the value to the customer, keep Wype behind the scenes, we are definitely open to that.
Okay.
Right, so EXP powered by Wype needed to be a thing, right? We can make that happen fairly easily. To the end of the day, we don't care if we get the credit for it.
Sure.
We know if we help you guys close more deals, right, the word's gonna spread.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
So really, some of our industry partners, quite a few. I mean, I don't know how you guys in this room feel about Home, whether they're preferred credit repair.
Why is their logo so big?
I don't know. Yeah, right.
I'm just kidding.
You wanted us to say.
Yeah, right. Yeah, the amount of business that gets passed over.
There you go.
Yeah, but I mean, massive solar companies that are nationwide. A few, I mean, we don't have, I mean, those mortgage companies, we have some of their offices and a bunch of LOs, but it's not company-wide with those guys. But we do have contracts in place. So brands that are recognized. And really, last thing here, guys, if you need to contact us, this one doesn't have Kyle's on there. But really, inquiries at wype.io, that's the best place to go. Send in a message saying, hey, listen, we got questions. I got clients that need some work. What can we do? schedule a time to call, whatever that may be. If you want to call or text me, you can get with Cal before this is out and get his number. Essentially on the slide.
Okay,
Um,
teach man, in love.
Yeah, guys, I mean, really, we want to make this as painless a process as we can for both you and your customers. Okay, our sign up process is 5 to 10 minutes. They fill out some basic information. You put your name as a referring rep on the first page. We do require that they agree to give us limited power of attorney. And the only reason that is because we want the client to be 100% hands off. The more client touches something, the more they're going to mess it up and skew timelines.
Oh, no, that's actually fabulous.
Yeah.
I'd love to do that.
Yep.
I don't know how you get away with that, but freaking awesome.
Yep.
Good job.
Yeah.
So if
Awesome.
somebody isn't working with one of your preferred, like solar companies or lenders or somebody that's kind of like absorbing that front end for them, and they're just doing this as an individual to fix their situation, what kind of costs are involved?
Yeah, it's going to be variable depending on what we see on the credit report. We do have, right, one-time payment options. We do have ability to finance, which that tool we have is actually pretty unique in the fact that everybody's approved for anywhere from 300 to 20 grand. There's no inquiry that shows up on a report, and it reports as a positive trade line from day one, as long as payments are made. And we can break that finance up by a month out to 36 months. So really, I mean, if you need to finance 1,500, 2 grand over 3 years, that's nothing for a monthly payment.
So
Yeah. Do you help business? I mean, I guess the end in mind, you said, you know, whatever it is they're trying to accomplish. So the end in mind, do you do any commercial? Do you do like big big jobs, or do you just do like kind of solar probably your biggest, or I guess.
Well, that's all B2B. So we actually, every credit fail from those companies, we get every single one of them, which is quite a bit. And we're dealing with companies who are doing thousands and thousands of files, and they're getting 20 to 30% turndowns.
Yeah.
And every person's coming over to us.
Yeah. I used to, so I was the director for Within Solar, so I tell them like, dude, you guys are geniuses. Genius.
Yeah.
And or alarm, we jump on alarms and every day, like, you know, 50% of them would no, right, just don't qualify. So, that's cool, I love it.
Yeah, they're I mean, you talk about a volume outfit,
Mhm.
that's as big as they get. We've actually been working with the smart home side trying to get that ironed out. They're doing 30,000 credit fails per month. 30,000. They're actually, they told us that they are the largest user of the credit bureaus in the country. Is a smart home.
Yep.
It's not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad. They actually Alder now, so his brother's the VP of Alder, and it's so funny because they actually created a program for all the film. So now they have these own system, right? So code, which is super helpful, but anyway, if you need another contact.
He's a guy.
He's the guy.
Right on.
I think we actually talked to somebody from there, but.
Yeah.
anybody on Zoom have any questions?
There's a couple in the chat.
No.
There is some in the chat. Just comments.
So just as like an overall snapshot, if, let's say, so like one of my clients, they get involved, they, you know, do the 10-minute, you know,
Mhm.
setup or whatever, you decide that you can take them on to buy a house specifically would be their goal. What's, I mean, you're saying, I didn't see the slide, I probably missed it, but what is the cost? Is it 4%? Like what is the cost to that you guys are charging besides the monthly, obviously?
That's by company, by what makes sense from the top down, right? So we don't have a set standard.
Okay.
Within solar, we're pretty much anywhere between $300 to $400 a kilowatt, which average system size is 8 to 10, which adds up quick.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's volume based, and then just what the margins look like, what are they willing to pay? If the numbers make sense, we'll make it work.
Cool.
So you're talking about a lot of big companies that have a lot of volume they're sending away. What about us as agents that have just a one-off deal and we know their credit's tanked? What is a consultation to look at their situation cost to just see what you can do for them?
Another thing.
So just a onesie here and there.
Yeah, onesie here and there, you call in, I call or text either Kyle or myself, and we like working with the EXP guys. But anybody that can help you out, do a free consultation. Really, if they want to look at a full tribunal report too, the credit monitoring site, we do have MyRise does a $1 trial for 7 days. So if you want to look at that, if there's no chance, they can cancel right after that, and they're not charged anymore, so. Yeah, that's pretty easy. Or you go to annualcreditreport.com, get your free year.
Right.
Experian, we like Experian because it gives you your FICO score right there too, so that's a good tool.
Well, I mean, once they get it and they know it's jacked up, then they need the consultation on what we can do about it.
Yeah.
Cool. Anybody else? Kyle, you got any input?
Yeah, man. We're just ready to bring it on, so. Where you guys?
Awesome. No, these guys are great. They're very responsive. Reach out to them, have them look at your client's situation, get them ready to buy homes.
Or about rate, or,
Yeah.
refinance. I think that's
Yeah.
another one too that I would like to start doing is, talk to you, because that's what we're gonna be working on today is reaching out to past clients, right? I have a lot of them, so it'd be great to say, okay, where are you? Like, you probably want to refinance, you're getting ready to either buy a house or you're getting ready to refinance, because everybody does it every 7 years. Terrible decision, but anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
But to that point,
Yeah,
is if we don't have to worry about inventory being
Yeah.
available,
Yeah.
refis are a little better market, right? We
Sure.
have time.
exactly. Yeah, so if they're getting ready for that, might as well get a really good score, so
Mm-hmm.
that when they're refinancing, it does change their output
Yep.
significantly, so.
Yeah, and then with the trade lines, like to T's point, like, yeah, their rest of their cards are maxed out, but if they have a good mix, a trade line is an amazing tool to add on. Because the underwriting process takes a trade line and considers it just like a primary, it doesn't tell the difference between the two.
What's the trade like?
The authorized user.
Yeah.
So we have a network of credit cards that have perfect payment history, perfect utilization that we can add on to that customer's profile.
Oh, that's what yours.
Yeah.
That's actually really clever.
Yeah, so we have a network of cards that are they're guaranteed 10% or less, no late payments or anything like that, so.
There's 500 or more of those that we can purchase.
And they'll stay on the credit report for about 2 to 4 months, depending on what type of card it is, but we can do anything from like $1,000 to like 50 grand.
And then when you're done, you remove them. Does it
Yeah, they'll just come off.
just drop off?
Yeah, we're actually seeing, even though they're advertised 2 to 4 months, a lot of times they're staying on for 4 to 6 months.
Yeah, so like I
Which is
tested
nice.
with myself, I put one on, it jumped me like over 100, I think it was like 132 points in 14 days.
Oh,
And
just by adding a trade line,
Just by adding that trade line.
a well-performing trade.
Well, yeah, because it opens
And
up,
then-
yeah, no, that makes sense.
And so, yeah, and then it actually stayed on longer than the scheduled to stay on for 2 months and it stayed on for like, I think it was like 5. So now every client, that's not gonna do that, but so apparently they set expectations to say 2 to 4, to say
Sure.
longer, it's just a bonus,
Yeah,
so.
well, that's cool.
Do you have pretty specific software to see each like example, like, hey, if we fight and get this off, it'll do this much for you in points, or is it that exact?
We don't have that mortgage software like you guys have, or.
Yeah, we've got some simulations is like what we get removed, but to be honest, there's never 100% accurate
Yeah,
calculation as what something's gonna do. But we have decent estimates.
Yeah, so we have like a simulation tool that will obviously determine like utilization and, usually when we know when we get to a certain percentage, that will jump up quite a bit, so.
And we can show people if they pay down certain amounts on certain cards, based on their posting dates, this is when their score would jump relative to that date, that kind of stuff. So we can send people those types of resources pretty easily.
But yeah, I'm trying to think of that one mortgage software that starts with an M or something like that. It's like you plug in different scenarios and it'll give you outcomes.
Mhm.
I just got a client I'm working with right now that has perfect credit
Mhm.
with some higher balances on the cards, but has 2 30-day past dues, like one's 3 years and one's 4 years ago
Okay,
on the same Capital One card, right?
and then perfect after.
Yeah, so it's like, and she asked me, does it make any sense to fight these and get them off, or is it just too old to even worry about? Like, if we did spend the time to get it off, would it get me to that 740? I'm like, I don't know how to calculate,
Right.
if it,
To be honest, if they're that old, it's not gonna make much
it really
difference.
is. That's.
You got 1 or 2 points.
Yeah, 1 or 2, it's
Yeah.
not a huge.
Oh,
That's
well,
not your thing though, after 3 years,
Okay.
good payment history.
So 3 years, that's kind of the,
I mean, really two or more.
Yeah, because there's so many more like on time payments that are outweighing those 2 bad ones.
Exactly.
So really for her, just let's just add our small trade line that you probably get there, no problem. That's what I would say.
trade line, it's clever.
So you just pay the money and then like you pay $1,000 and it shows that you have that trade line for a while, or was it?
No, so like basically like we have our cost for the trade lines. We'll say, okay, this is what it will cost you to get this trade line. And then it'll be like, say like it's a $10,000 city card that's been open for 6 years. Okay, we'll say, okay, this is the cost to purchase that trade line. And then once you pay that, then we get that added onto your credit report. If it doesn't get added, then we'll get credit and we'll get another trade line for you. So
So basically buying someone
else's card. So like if I have a credit card, right, I get like just as if I was your brother,
Genius.
right? And I'm just adding you onto my credit card, so you get benefit from the history of that card. It's the same exact thing. It's just you don't know that person. We're just adding them on theirs.
So
They've
can I
agreed to
sell
allow you to
that,
know.
because I've got that history, because I have perfect.
You
credit?
could match up with.
That's right, he's gonna rent out his credit cards.
But yeah, so cards, you have like a 6-month typical time for it to get out on one. So often, so.
Yeah,
a cycle
How
versus
is
less
that
months.
not
We'll just pair up, because I have
Because
like
it's an
5
operating
properties
system,
right
just
now.
like
that
you
I
adding
need to
on a
watch.
family member onto your card.
I've
Now, if
got
we were
some,
trying
like,
to
high
say like
balance
this is a
ones,
primary
they're
account,
like
that's absolutely.
20,
Perfect.
perfect credit history for like 6 years.
Perfect, there you go. I got
But
you.
yeah, it's just like you adding on.
We'll just buy some
family member
Airbnb
cards.
stuff with it. And pay it off.
All right, guys, if you don't have any other questions, I'm gonna let you go, but like Brianna, let's see who else, David, those of you that haven't seen our new video, we're a little bit early, so we're gonna jump back on at noon. That's our EXP overview portion, and Eric's been working really, really hard on our international expansion and growing our teams, and we've got a great video to share with you. It's only 12 minutes long to get the whole message across, not only what EXP has to offer, but what Team Limitless has to offer, and why people would want to join our team over, just anybody else. So I guess I could just leave this link open and you can just stay linked on, but I'll just mute the mic because it'll get noisy in here. We should have some lunch coming here shortly. And at noon, I'll be back. Okay, take a break, do whatever you want. See you guys. I'll leave the speaker open, yell if you need anything.